HGA, UPW, the PTAs, and have 100,000 people asking for $100 million more in education. And then I think we're going to be able to get the resources that the schools need. And quite frankly, I think it's possible to have that type of large community effort because we have 180,000 students. And everybody wants their kids to have a first-class education. So we gotta treat this as a crisis. And to me, the task force, our strategic plan, everything we need to do, we need to treat it as we're going to get together, we're going to have these meetings, and we're going to be unified, going to the legislature and saying to the legislature, this is a priority for our state to have a first-class education system. And then I think we leave it up to the teachers, the principals to deliver the product each and every day. Because when the superintendent was talking about successes, our students are going to the top colleges in the country. And there's a lot of successes being done on every island, in every classroom. We just need to help the struggling students be able to have the same dreams as the students who are succeeding. So Darryl, I appreciate everything you do because the more people talk about education, the more that we hold hands, the more we have positive experiences, we're going to do much better in this state. So it's all good. Let's try to have a good product and we'll all work together. Like today, we had a meeting today, HSTA, DOE came, as Member Min said, he felt so good he wanted to say kumbaya. And that's what we want to do. We want to have a kumbaya moment in education. But that kumbaya moment has to be at the next legislative session during the budget session. And that's where we need to really come together. Because we're struggling in terms of monies that are being appropriated to the schools. And you know it. So thank you very much for all you do. Thank you.
Board Member Williams, do you have something else to say? Okay, any other board members? Okay, thank you so much for your presentation. Okay, we're now moving on to the action items on our agenda. We'll again accept public testimony. Kevin, is there any public testimony?
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening.
You got the 5.
All right.
Good evening, I'm Linda Tim, Chair, and all the board members, and our student here. Congratulations on your achievement. I'm very excited for you. Anyway, thank you for letting me spend a couple minutes. My agenda item was basically the report that was shared regarding that TMH had just presented, and a couple of comments, and appreciate your attention. Just briefly, I was looking at the Council for Exceptional Children report regarding the ESSA, and it's not just the IDEA that mentions special education for children with disabilities. Just looking briefly at a report first that came in on Google search, it specifically mentions there are changes for children with disabilities. It ensures access to the general education curriculum. It ensures access to accommodations on assessments. Kind of run with my testimony. Just looking at the handout that was posted online, that is the presentation we just saw, page 11, strategic plan, goal 1 progress. This is what briefly caught my eye: achievement gap, math, English, language arts, literacy. I'm bringing these up because I have 3 kids. Some of you know that already, but for the rest of you, also, my youngest is still in school, and he's born with Down syndrome, and he's 15 now. 15, yeah. Yes. Anyway. Okay. That was under progress. Anyway, progress not made. sorry. Been here 2 hours, I know you've been here a lot longer. Okay. Measures not identified under bring this up, student connection to the community. My son is 15 now, but last year he was in the 6th grade at a charter school. They decided he needed to be in a regular DOE school, so they put him in King Intermediate. They thought it was 6th grade. So because they aren't 6th grade, they decided that this year he should be in 8th grade. So basically, he's not had any access to general education curriculum, and that's the primary reason why I'm here. It's a fight of policies. I strongly believe Governor Lingle said that they spend a lot of money, it's how are they spending it? Look at policies and procedures that people like the IEP team and the principal are using, whether they're accurate or not. Those policies and procedures are figuring or what drives how that money's being spent. And when you've got policies that are not good or misinterpreted, causes children like mine to not be able to sit at a table with lunch, in a lunchroom with other kids. He went to his first banquet this last weekend. He came home with a picture of his teacher and him. Why can't he be with everybody else? And I brought it up this last month. Can you just sit on the bench with other people while waiting for the bell to ring? Why does he have to be in the cafeteria wiping tables and asking for his meal to be prepared correctly? It's too late in here, we can't make any changes like that. Measures not identified, I bring this because he was in Cub Scouts, and last year he obtained the Arrow of Light, and promoted to Scouts. Typically you do that in 5th grade, age 11, the kid was 14. What's the big deal here? The big deal is the DOE needs to recognize, I have 30 more seconds, that he can be behind the chronological age, but we have a system, at least in Windward District, that he gets promoted automatically. This 9th grade is one of the things that were listed in the report here. It's not success when my kid's automatically being promoted. Other kids get general education curriculum. I got a report card not even 2 months ago. They had no subjects listed. That's what they do with my kid with special needs. That's all online. I appreciate your attention. But the ESSA, I hadn't read anything about it until I was sitting here for the last 2 hours and learning things. I am familiar with the presenters here and what they were referring to. Effective communication is one of the integral learning outcomes that's printed on the front of my school, my son's school wall. There's 6 of them. I brought it up the last night. My kid needs access to be able to reach these. I was basically laughed at. But your IEP says he needs all of that. ESSA, that report I just started off with, access to general education curriculum. My kid didn't even have a keyboard in class. He needs an iPad. Every time I get in to observe, he's playing games. He was playing the Wii game by himself during the summer. I appreciate your listening to this. I've been trying to work from the bottom up. Some of the people in the state office have actually been a lot more helpful. And I call, people know. I don't have the Attorney General saying, don't talk to me anymore, so that's nice, but Gail in the office has always been real helpful finding the right person. And I'm glad to be here. Ask for your help. I need your help. Thank you.
Thank you. No more testimony? Thank you. Okay. First, we have action on the Human Resources Committee recommendation regarding Board Policy 203.4, Teacher Performance Evaluation. I'd like to invite Committee Chairperson Brian DeLima to present the committee's recommendations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of the committee, I move for the adoption of the recommendations regarding Board Policy 203.4, Teacher Performance Evaluation.
Any discussion? Okay, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion's been approved. Thank you.
Chair, I'm sorry. It just occurred to me that members of the public who weren't here for the committee meeting might think that this item didn't have, full discussion and support and everything, but it did. And at committee,
During the committee.
most of the members were here then, there was a full presentation, good discussion, etc. So I just want anybody, if they weren't here earlier, to understand that, because they might get the wrong impression.
Thanks for providing that clarity. Okay. Finally, we have action on the Department of Education's annual financial and single audit for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2015. You have the memorandum in your meeting materials, although I think some of you don't, but we have a few copies of the audit report for any members that would like to see it.
Mr. Chairman, the audit report was reviewed by the Finance and Infrastructure Committee. And on behalf of the board, I would move that the board receive and file the Department of Education's annual financial and single audit for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2015.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion's carried. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. I don't remember how long ago.
So in our FIC committee, we took action on 3 board policies, and I noticed it's not here in terms of us taking action.
Next,
Is it next? Okay, so the next GBM. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're now going to be moving on to executive session. So I'm going to ask, Kenny, sorry.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go into executive session to discuss matters stated on the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion's carried. We're going to be moving to executive session.